You want to go in, Steve? We got 3 minutes.
Keith, would you please inform Skyler that we have 4 minutes, and there's another show broadcasting. We can't just barge in on them.
Skyler, Steve says 4 minutes. We can't go in.
I heard. Thank you. Will you please ask Steve how Michael Keaton could have been a bad choice if he was asked back for a sequel?
Really? You really want me to ask him?
Yes. If he's not speaking to me.
Okay. Skyler wants to know why...
I never said Keaton was terrible. I merely said that Kilmer was the best.
Kilmer was the best?
Kilmer was the
Fine. We
best.
have... he wants to implore upon you... Kilmer's
No, I heard.
Batman.
Will you please ask Steve if he is blind or deaf or some kind of combination?
Keith, would you
it's gonna be
please
really ugly.
tell Skyler that I'm neither blind
I've
nor
got to
deaf.
take this.
And that, where are you going?
Thank you. I'm going to just walk out of here.
Keith, I need you on this one.
Should we go to John right away, or should we ask another of our questions? Because apparently there's this question you really want me to ask.
I wanted you to ask the second one, and I got them messed up.
The second question. All right. Keith, you starred in 5 movies, each of which I, Steve Moulton, have probably seen 10 to 20 times. Adventures in Babysitting, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, Hiding Out, which is one of my favorites, one of my brother's favorites, Toy Soldiers, and Book of Love, which I highly recommend if nobody's seen that. If you're listening, go watch Book of Love. Which do you think is my favorite of those 5 movies?
Your favorite of those 5
Just take a wild guess.
Not a wild. Don't do a wild guess. Do an educated guess.
Do an educated guess.
I'm going to say Hiding Out.
You're darn right.
Wow.
I almost said the full D word, but you're darn right.
D
You
word.
mentioned it earlier, and you did note Hiding Out.
Okay,
so.
yeah, because Hiding Out, like, I feel it's underappreciated. I just caught it on cable maybe within the last 6 months. But, man, when I was a kid, that was just, like, the coolest movie. Me and the whole gang were like, Hiding Out's on. We're staying inside today. And, yeah, working with John Cryer with those. Oh, gosh. I just swiped my microphone. With the crazy, just the idea of being in high school and having a hitman after you and hiding out.
Yeah.
It was extremely romantic to all of us kids.
Now, Keith, didn't you say that you had some screenings recently of Adventures in Babysitting?
We did the New Beverly Cinema screen Adventures in Babysitting and Toy Soldiers as a great
excellent.
double feature. Did some Q&A.
Nice.
And had a great time watching it with the crowds again, and they really loved it. Yeah.
I do love Toy Soldiers, too. Again, that played into the whole, kids got to handle some stuff once in a while.
Right.
Like Monster Squad or BMX Bandits or what have you. It's like, hey, we're kids. We got to fight these terrorists off.
There aren't enough of those anymore where the kids have to really fight something.
And that's probably for the better in
Yeah,
a way.
maybe.
I mean, back then, it was the Cold War.
Right.
So, there was a lot more of, Red Dawn and all that sort of thing where it's like the kids were the last line of defense. Nowadays, I think they don't want kids to get that idea. Because a lot more kids have guns these days.
That's true.
Our
So
reference movies were Dead Poets Society meets Taps.
There you go.
And
That's awesome.
or Die Hard. You could say Dead Poets Society meets Die Hard. That's great.
Nice. Very nice. Dead Poets Society meets Die Hard.
With the crowds, though, they did root for the kids. They really did. The crowd got into it. Adventures in Babysitting was a little more endearing, and everybody kind of was with the characters and laughing with them. Toy Soldiers was a little more broad, and you could kind of mock it a bit, and it has more fun with itself, and it's a little more B-movie.
And then it's also got some pretty cool action stuff.
Boom!
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Toy Soldier. I think I caught that maybe 3 weeks ago on Encore.
Little did you know.
I'll watch it every time. But Hiding Out, I might as well just go find that on DVD already because it's too good. Should we go to John?
From the vaults,
Yes.
Hiding Out.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's see what John's up to.
I mean, Cryer, he's on 2.5 Men. He should be able to get Hiding Out there, right?
Yeah.
Let's do this, Cryer. John, you're on the air with Keith Coogan.
Hello, Keith. I was doing a little research before you came on the air, and I found out that you are, correct me if I'm wrong, the grandson of Jackie Coogan, who had one of his first film appearances in the Charlie Chaplin movie, The Kid. And my question is, did your grandfather inspire you in any way to become an actor? That's what my question is.
He inspired me more to kind of keep at it and keep going if it's something I really loved. My family we weren't living in the same town as my grandfather, and I wasn't really aware of what he was doing when I wanted to be on TV. I was watching The Allegre and Electric Company and Sesame Street and Romper Room and these great kids shows, and I was like, there's kids on there, I want to be in the TV.
Nice.
And my mom said, great, let's go. And we ran down to L.A. and got me an agent, and I started going out for stuff. Sweet. And after a couple of years, at about 8 years old, I think is when I first saw The Kid. and knew what it was. I'd
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
seen bits of it earlier or whatever, but at 8, finally you could kind of take it in.
Yeah.
And he was also, sorry.
No, go
Just
ahead.
interrupt him.
He
man.
was also, sorry to interrupt you, but he was also Uncle Fester on the original Addams Family.
Yes, and that's talking about keeping it going or to stay at it. He had
yeah.
huge success as a child actor and into his teen years, and it ended at the teen years. We didn't have John Hughes yet, so that was it.
Right.
He's grown up, and we don't want to see it.
Yeah.
And then years later, he has a resurgence with television, and he didn't know how television was going to work for him, and it was he's maybe even known certainly by some generations more for Addams Family than for the kid. Really, the legacy I think my grandfather is really most known for. He in 1935 sued his momager for a couple million.
His momager.
His mom manager.
Oh, okay.
For a couple million, or what was left of the Coogan estate, and really came out with nothing out of the trial. They said, well, the labor law is minors' earnings are the parents, even if it's millions. And so the public kind of screamed at that, and they said there's got to be something done about it, and they brought back an obscure mining law for minors that mine in California.
Sure.
And it was that 20% could be saved for the child until they're 18. It's a law, it's an act in California. It doesn't cover other states. It doesn't cover international, and usually it only covers contract stuff. So television, you kind of got to go out of your way until Paul Peterson and A Minor Consideration really helped bring about the Coogan account.
Okay.
This is it. You stop it right where the money is. Production can't even cut a check until the child has a Coogan account set up. They have 10 days from the day of starting shoot from filming, but that's a time to go to a bank, and all banks in Southern California carry their own Coogan accounts. You see them in the back of the Screen Actors Guild magazine.
Cool.
And I think that's great because it's an actual physical way of enforcing watching out for these kids and their earnings. So I said, well, I'll do a monologue. I kind of had a block before with having a good couple of monologues in my pocket. And I said, well, why don't I just come up with 365 of them? So I said, I'm going to learn one every day, and if I can't learn one, I'll do a reading or a voiceover or something. I'm going to create and put something up every day.
You
And
write them sometimes?
I have done original monologues, absolutely.
Nice. How much work does it take you every day?
It varies from if I'm cheating and doing a voiceover or a reading of a poem, a Shakespeare or something. It'll just take half an hour or so to shoot it and put it up. Other times I will spend all day, sometimes 2 days. I just did Cyrano de Bergerac, the comeback speech in Act 1, Scene 4, and it took several days really to learn it. And then sometimes I'll do multiple takes, and so it varies. It varies. Usually I'll set aside at least 2 hours to make sure I can create something that I can watch later and go, okay. And it's hit and miss. There's some that are stronger than others.
Of course, sure.
And so I've learned something instantly. A week into it, and I'm like, wow, this is a really neat project. And I started to get some feedback and a little bit of press and some really good support.
I like it.
Yeah.
Where do we go to see these monologues?
You can just type into this Google thing and say Monologue a Day Project or Keith Coogan and Monologue, and you'll go right to it.
Excellent.
Or there's monologueaday.blogspot.com, and that's the blog I'm actually keeping, linking to a YouTube account with all the videos.
Okay.
And I noticed you said that you came up with the idea in the bathtub. I know that I know there actually there's at least one monologue where you're in the bathtub.
In the
as
very
well.
bathtub, yes.
In the same bathtub.
It's a sick one. And the author of the play had said, wow, I never really considered someone doing that speech in a bathtub.
Nice.
I think the reason I kill is my father. He didn't approve of me. My father was always telling me,
So
son...
hold on. Why are you getting into this exposition now? I mean, it seems really late in the story.
I know. I hate exposition too.
Well, then why are you saying it now?
I don't know. I'm not the writer.
Well, someone should have caught it. What?
Well, now I'm not in the mood.
I'm sorry, I can do this again.
Would you? That'd be great.
Yeah.